Hello and welcome to Middle Eastern Thursday. So today, guys, we are about to end 2024 and I have a group of videos where I will be sharing with you what I like to call like the recap of 2024. We have discussed so many Middle Eastern fragrances here on the channel, guys, and there are some fragrances that did not work for me, but there are quite a number of fragrances that I consider to be outstanding. And today, I'm going to be sharing with you masterpiece fragrances. But these fragrances are very peculiar because they are all no oud fragrances. Yes, fragrances that have no oud and that I think are just exquisitely done, perform beautifully, and I really think they're like a masterpiece fragrance. So I'm going to be sharing them with you. I have a total of 9 fragrances because I was not looking for a specific number like top 5 or top 10. No, I just went through my collection and I know which ones through time I thought, oh my goodness, this fragrance is really like a masterpiece and it doesn't even have oud. So today I'm going to be sharing them with you, but before we jump right in, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and in this channel we talk about all types of fragrances. Western niche, Middle Eastern, designer, affordable, scented body products, because we just want to smell fabulous. Now, if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. So guys, I'm going to be sharing these fragrances in no particular order. And I know that I always say that, and then at the end there's a fragrance that I'm just like, oh, but it's just that I get excited all throughout the journey of showing you the fragrances that I want to share with you for the day. But we're going to go ahead and start with a fragrance, guys, that I'm going to tell you right now. This fragrance is exceptional, truly exceptional. You may recall when I first hauled it here on the channel, I'm not going to be sharing a lot of detail about any of these fragrances because there are detailed reviews on each of these fragrances here on the channel. Today is just sharing with you the recap of 2024 and reminding you that these are truly masterpiece fragrances with no oud. So let's go ahead and start with a fragrance from Matin, and this one is Miral. Now, you may recall when I first shared this fragrance with you, I was like over the moon with this fragrance because it truly is exceptional. Miral is a fragrance that opens up very fruity. It has an exquisitely done bouquet of white florals. It is a sweet fragrance, but it is such a well-balanced fragrance that there's not one note that really sticks out. There's nothing screechy. There's nothing obnoxious about the fragrance. And this is also an exquisitely sophisticated fragrance. This is a fragrance, as I shared with you before, that I think is signature scent worthy and one that will get you a ton of compliments. Since we're talking about Matin, I thought that we would just cover another fragrance that I have in this lineup for you from that fragrance house, and this one is Jameela. Now, I'm sure that you guys recall when I talked about Jameela because Jameela and Miral were the top 2 of my list and nothing has changed. All of the fragrances from Matin are typically really well done, beautiful fragrances. But there is something about these 2 that captured my heart from day one, and I have not been able to let them go. These 2 fragrances are absolutely beautiful. Jameela has a combination of passion fruit and, if I recall correctly, blackcurrant and some white florals. Ooh, where the orange blossom takes the lead. And this fragrance, guys, is just so beautiful. And I have to tell you, this is a very high compliment getter. This is one of my top compliment getters in my entire collection because this is a fragrance that just pulls people to you. It's also a fragrance that, while being a musk-based fragrance, you know, it's just very smooth and it has a touch of an animalic quality to it that I think adds character to the fragrance. But when I tell you that this is a masterpiece of a fragrance, truly, and let's not even talk about performance because, as I told you before, all of these fragrances perform beautifully. And of course, guys, of course, you know that being an iris lover, I had to include a fragrance that, guys, from the first moment I discussed it here on the channel, you know that I was just lost in like glorious heaven with this fragrance. And I'm speaking about Haramain's L'Adventure Iris. Now, this is a fragrance, guys, that, just like the bottle, is all about the purple florals. You have some lavender here, you have some iris, and there's also a fruity quality to the fragrance that goes so well. Not to mention that incredible vanilla. But there's also like a green quality to the fragrance that brings an airiness and a bit of crispness to the entire feel of the fragrance. This is also a fragrance that is musk based, but at that, it has an amber quality to it that balances out that muskiness. So if you're one that's not much into musky fragrances, you still may want to give this one a try because you may be very pleasantly surprised. This is like, I would say, a level 1 musk, with 5 being the highest. But I tell you, this is a fragrance that you cannot go wrong with. And if you are an iris lover, you definitely want to get your nose on this one. This is also truly, to me, a unisex fragrance, and it is beautiful whether it's for gentlemen or for a female. It is just a masterpiece. The next fragrance that I want to share with you is a fragrance that I wouldn't say is polarizing, but it's not fragrance that I would say it's a safe blind buy. But if you are into this scent profile and this type of notes, then maybe this is a fragrance you may want to give a try. I'm speaking about December Rose from Paris Corner. Now, when I first brought this fragrance here to the channel, it was my understanding that the thought was that this one was inspired by Rihanna's fragrance. And I have Rihanna's fragrance, and I've done comparisons side by side. And while there are similarities, this is definitely not the Rihanna fragrance. Part of the reason many thought that maybe this could be the Rihanna fragrance is because there's a note of blueberry in this fragrance. But if I'm perfectly honest with you, while I love the Rihanna fragrance, the blueberry note in the Rihanna fragrance can be a bit overwhelming and kind of screechy at times in the olfactory journey. With December Rose, the blueberry has been done in a very, very different way, setting it apart from that fragrance. At all this, guys, I have to tell you that I think that this fragrance is a true masterpiece. This fragrance performs, will get you compliments. This is a fragrance that is not your typical fruity floral fragrance where rose takes a dominant place. Because the rose in this fragrance, while it's not a young, fresh, crisp rose, it's also not a jammy, old, dated rose. I don't even understand how they did it, which is why I really believe that this is a masterpiece fragrance. And at that, no oud, because I really believe that if they would have added oud to this fragrance, it would have been a bit much because there's just so much going on and everything has been done in such an intense way. Let us know if you tried December Rose and how you feel about it. The next fragrance that I have for you is one that I've talked so much about this fragrance here on the channel, but I had to include it because it is truly a masterpiece in my opinion and a delight to wear. This one is from Lattafa Perfumes and this one is Sakeena. Now, Sakeena is like the third sister of a group of 3 fragrances that came out from Lattafa at the same time. And Sakeena is one that does not have oud and has a very strong fruity presence. In addition to the fruity notes, you're going to find white florals such as orange blossom, and you're going to find some rose, and there's also like a nutty quality to this fragrance. This is a very beautiful, very bold, beautiful fragrance that, while it has a Middle Eastern vibe to it, it doesn't have any oud. So it makes it a very unique type of fragrance. And I absolutely love it, highly recommend it. I think that this is a mass appealing fragrance, and I know that many fan members did pick up this fragrance. Please let us know in the comments section your thoughts on Sakeena. The next fragrance that I have for you is from Khadlaj. And this is a fragrance that was launched in celebration of, I believe, their 25 years, because this one is called Loyalty 25. And guys, you may recall when I hauled this fragrance, and then I did a couple of reviews. But this fragrance now has taken, guys, such a different path, because it's just gone to the next level, because it's been sitting for months. I'm going to have to spray it, because this fragrance, oh my goodness, guys, when I tell you, absolutely beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful fragrance. I know that many of you picked up this fragrance. This fragrance is one that I really recommend for any occasion, just not a casual occasion, because this is a very special fragrance. This is elegance and sophistication in a bottle, in my opinion. Now, when I say elegance and sophistication, am I speaking that it's for a mature crowd? No, this is perfect for 25 plus. This is a fragrance that I would not take to the office or for a very informal or casual type of occasion, but it is definitely one that when you want to feel elegant, sophisticated, beautiful, and glamorous, you definitely want to pull this fragrance. You cannot go wrong, and needless to say, the compliments will definitely come. Let us know how you feel about Khadlaj Loyalty. So this next fragrance, guys, is my favorite coffee note centric fragrance in my entire collection. And if you've been with me for a while, I'm sure that you'll recall when I hauled it and then I did a review and I told you how happy I was, because finally I had a coffee, real coffee fragrance, no excuses, real coffee fragrance in my collection that I felt that I would wear and that I wanted to keep in my collection. And nothing has changed. As a matter of fact, I'm more and more in love with this fragrance every day, and I do believe it is a masterpiece. And it has no oud. And I'm speaking about Paris Corner's Eternal Coffee. Guys, this fragrance, oh, okay, this is truly a gourmand fragrance. But the coffee here has been done in such a special way, because while you still get that note of coffee and it is a dominant note, it has been smoothed out in the right way to make it truly a beautiful coffee fragrance without you smelling like if you're a barista. I'm telling you, if you've tried this fragrance, please let us know in the comment section your thoughts on it, because if you are a coffee lover, or if you know someone who is a true coffee lover, I think you need to give this fragrance a try. You cannot go wrong. It is absolutely exquisite. I also think that this is a fragrance that I would not wear for like a gala or a very formal event. If it's a Christmas party, I would. You know, if it's like a less formal type of event, because the coffee is truly present. While it smells beautiful and it's done exquisitely like a masterpiece, it's still coffee. That's just my opinion. But other than that, this is a fragrance that if you want a coffee fragrance to add to your collection, say no more. So the last two fragrances that I have for you today are from one of my favorite Middle Eastern fragrance houses. And this one is Ahmed Al-Maghribi, and this one is Araak. Now you may recall when I first introduced, oh my goodness. Now you may recall when I first introduced this fragrance in the channel, and I had talked to you about how I loved Ahmed Al-Maghribi fragrances, and Bidou Messam was my favorite fragrance for like years, right? It's really rare, in my opinion, to find a fragrance from Ahmed that doesn't have oud. So when I found these fragrances, I was very drawn to them because I love the DNA of the fragrance house and how they do their fragrances. But I have to tell you, Araak is exceptional. If you, and to me, this is really a feminine fragrance, by the way, guys. If you're looking for a special gift for someone very special, a female, a feminine in your life, then this is the fragrance that you want to get your nose on if you haven't already. Please let us know in the comments section if you've tried Araak, because I've talked about this fragrance here on the channel so much, and I know so many fam members own it. This is a fragrance that is definitely a floral fruity fragrance because it has quite a number of florals. It has, if I recall correctly, lily of the valley, some orange blossom, definitely some jasmine. There's quite a bit of red fruits here, you know, like strawberry, raspberry. You can clearly pick up on it. There's some pear. This is a fragrance that, while being floral fruity, is so exquisitely elegant, and it's very smooth. But of course, that is the DNA, in my opinion, of the Ahmed Al-Maghribi fragrance house. Now, the last fragrance that I want to share with you is, like I said before, also from Ahmed Al-Maghribi, and this one is Rose Noir. Now, you want to make sure that you get the Rose Noir that comes in this bottle, because there's another one, and I can't remember what that bottle looks like, but there are differences between those two fragrances. And I am telling you that this is the one that you want to get your nose on. Of course, I will have everything linked in the description box, but guys, this. So this one is also a floral fruity fragrance, but there's a focus on the rose here. And the rose here is so crisp. It's like a fresh bloom rose, and that note is so dominant that I pick up on that freshly bloomed rose from beginning all throughout the wear of the fragrance. It is exquisitely done, and there's like a very, very beautiful combination of woody notes in the background. No oud, of course, but there are some woody notes that bring character to it without allowing the rose to become like dated, or, you know, it's not a jammy rose. It's not like a dry rose. It's a very fresh and blooming rose. There's also some ginger here that really gives a twist to the fragrance, making it a bit of a different type of rose fragrance than the others that you may have in your collection from Ahmed Al-Maghribi. In addition to the ginger, of course, there's vanilla here and cashmere, and it's just absolutely beautiful, guys. No oud, and a total masterpiece. This one is also a beast. The performance here is beast mode. This one is also one that will not only get you compliments, but it will also stir up quite a bit of conversation around you. Let us know if you've tried Rose Noir, or if you have it as a part of your collection, and your thoughts. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of today's video, and I hope that this was enjoyable for you. Guys, these 9 fragrances to me truly are masterpieces. They are the best no oud fragrances that I found during all of the fragrances that I reviewed during 2024 specific to Middle Eastern fragrances. Let us know if you tried any of them or if they're a part of your collection, and your thoughts. As always, thank you so much for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.